Hello and welcome to Inner Circle Guidance. Today we're going to be doing a collective reading, but for those of you who are new to the circle, hello and welcome. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. I post new videos every single day. If you're looking for daily short tarot readings, check out my Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, or YouTube Shorts. If you're looking for personal services or personal readings, I offer them through my website, innercircleguidance.com. Let's find out what the circle needs to know today. Getting this weird inclination to pull from the bottom of the deck. Interesting. Okay. 9 of Swords. Some of us are feeling very stressed right now, or worried, or feeling unfulfilled or regretful, or like things are just not quite where we want them to be, maybe a bit frustrated. So let's find out what this is about. We have the 8 of Pentacles. We have the Knight of Cups. And we have the Magician. Okay. So the question I asked was, what were 3 things for why the circle's feeling this way right now? And so these are the answers that I got. The first one is that you've been putting in a lot of work into achieving your goals, and you feel like you've been putting in all this work and putting in all this work, and maybe it doesn't feel like it's paying off quite as much as you want it to, or maybe as quickly as you want it to. I'm also hearing that you may have achieved some major goals lately, but they didn't leave you feeling as achieved, or what's the word I'm looking for? It's almost like you thought you were going to feel more contentment and more happiness about it, and it didn't quite give you that. It ended up making you feel more stressed out or more worried or just discontent. And for some of you, I'm hearing too that this is specific to your career, and that some of you are frustrated because you're putting in all this effort into your career and you feel like you're wanting so badly to get to the finish line that you're kind of rushing the journey, and you're making it's almost like you're making the goal your identity instead of enjoying the journey of actually like achieving it and building it and those types of things, and you're kind of missing out on the current moment and the present. And so I'm here to warn you a little bit about that here. For those of you who took on the project or whatever, took on whatever it was, and ended up being successful, and you didn't feel the way you thought you were going to feel, it's because you mainly are putting in all this work and all this effort, and it's just stressing you out. Not because you're not actually happy about achieving the goal. It's because you haven't taken care of yourself first. You've been rushing and working too much. You need to slow down. You need to take a day off, take a daycation, go to the beach, read a book, whatever it is. But you need to slow down because you're overworking yourself, and that's making everything just not enjoyable. It really doesn't have to do with that you're not happy about whatever it was. It's just that you've been working too hard and too much. And maybe you've been putting a little bit too much emphasis on your work lately, so you need to cut back a little bit, and you need to maybe spend some time with family, some friends, relax, go for a walk, work out, do something that relieves stress for you. And then for those of you who feel like your work isn't paying off fast enough, you also need to slow down, because I'm hearing that you're actually a lot closer than you think you are. You have some major blessings and changes that are going to be coming in, but you're being asked to prepare for that, and you're being asked to also mentally prepare, because you don't want to fall into the category of some of the other members of our circle who are working really hard, and then they're not happy when these big blessings come in because they feel stressed out. And so you're also being asked to slow down. You're being asked to have faith in your own abilities and in the universe and spirit, that anything that's meant for you is going to come to you in divine timing. It's on its way. The universe is always working in the background for you. You just have to stop being impatient is your problem. So that's that card. Okay. Let's get into the Knight of Cups. So the Knight of Cups is for those of you who are feeling rather lonely at this time. You may find that you're surrounded by wonderful friends and family, but you still are maybe missing that person that you want to spend and share your life with. And I'm hearing that you may see that love and the idea of love has kind of come to the forefront of your mind lately. You could find yourself reading books or watching movies that have grand love adventures and things in it, or listening to podcasts that are talking about relationships, things like that. Or your friends may be bringing up past exes, or bringing up, oh, when are you going to date? Or did you go on a date? Or things like that, and asking you questions that's bringing it to the forefront of your mind. Be very careful, those of you who fall into this group, that you don't go out looking for validation to this loneliness to the point where you end up getting yourself into a negative relationship. Be very careful, because I can see that you've done that in the past and you may have a tendency to do it again. Break that cycle, because for those of you who have, I call it like the 8-month itch or the 6-month itch or the whatever month itch or however many year itch, where typically a lot of us have like a certain time frame where this feeling starts becoming more present. And the reason it's being brought to the forefront right now is to make you aware of that pattern. For those of you who have looked for validation and you get lonely, you end up going to another relationship and it doesn't work out. You get overly invested, knowing it's the wrong thing to do, and you end up getting hurt. And then you're kind of stuck spinning your wheels here. Be very careful of that. But this is also being brought to the forefront to show you where that itch is. So let's say for those of you who break up and then it's like around the 8-month mark where you start feeling lonely, just an example, it doesn't have to be 8, that was just a random example. If that's the case, then with that being said, Spirit is also testing you, because for a lot of you, I don't know if you remember, at the beginning of the year, I said a lot of people are going to be finding soulmates this year. But you have to remember that in order to find your soulmate, who is your divine counterpart, who is the person who complements you very well, you have to understand yourself very well in order to attract that person. And you have to be patient, because if you're impatient and you're not willing to wait, well, wait's the wrong word, because it should come in divine timing. You don't want to be in a waiting energy. But if you're not willing to be patient for the divine timing of when that person is supposed to appear, you're going to end up missing the mark, because you're going to end up in a relationship with someone else who's not the right person, that you're just connected to through your trauma bonds or your insecurities or your need for validation. And it's just going to delay you meeting the person you're supposed to be with. Or I should say the person that you can choose to be with. I don't really think soulmates are meant to be together. I think it's a choice. So that being said, you need to decide what's more important for you right now. Being with somebody because you're lonely who fills the void, or embracing that void and getting to know that part of yourself and learning to love that part of yourself so that you can be prepared for when the person that is a better counterpart for you, who could be your divine match, who you could choose to be with, could end up making you very happy if you're willing to be patient for that person. And the thing is a lot of people think that they're doing something wrong. You have to remember that when you are trying to manifest that divine counterpart, there are a lot of other destinies and a lot of other people's lives that come into play with that particular storyline. So a lot of people think, oh, I must be doing something wrong because I'm doing everything right, and where is he or where is she or where are they? Remember that when you are in a relationship, you're merging 2 lives, 2 souls, 2 totally different minds together as one, in the sense that you're bringing it together and choosing to move forward together and make decisions as one unit. With that being said, you have to remember that when you're already in a relationship, you're already trying to merge 2 people. That's already difficult. But when you haven't even met this person yet, Spirit has to align everything with multiple people's timelines, multiple people's destinies, their life path, all those things. And then everyone's choices, everyone has the power of free will. So everyone's choices are interfering with all of that. It takes time to align those things. This isn't all on you, and this isn't all about you. Your divine counterpart could already have 3 kids and be in the middle of a divorce right now. You have no idea. I'm not saying that's what's happening, but that's just an example. Imagine how complicated that is just for them. And then you have the 3 kids, and then you have the ex-wife or husband or whoever. So remember that part of being patient with this has to do with the fact that everything has to align in divine timing so that it can work out properly the way that it's most beneficial for everyone to move forward. You meet your divine counterpart at the wrong time, they may not choose you or you may not choose them. Timing has a lot to do with whether or not a relationship makes it or breaks it. Some things are only beautiful and wonderful in a certain timeline. That's why you have multiple soulmates, and there's different kinds of soulmates, because every choice that you make puts you on whatever path you chose, and it's the same for the other person. So you need to be very patient. The other thing I'm hearing is that for those of you who are really looking for that person, this person is somebody who believes in fate in the sense that they believe that their divine counterpart is out there and it's something they value. So when you meet this person, it's going to feel very different from a lot of your other relationships because there's going to be an understanding there that maybe you didn't have in other relationships. So when you do meet this person, don't let that scare you off. You're going to need to take things slow because they're going to put you out of your comfort zone with that, but it's okay. All right, so that's our group 2 here. Our group 3 is the Magician. And the Magician has to do with, well, first off, it's ruled by all of the zodiac signs and elements: fire, earth, water, air. And it's also the card of manifestation. For those of you who are worried that your manifestations are not going to happen because they're too grandeur, or you're worried about them not happening fast enough, or you don't see evidence of them coming true, you need to get out of that mindset, because you are meant to have everything that you desire and you are meant to live a wonderful life. But you have to choose that wonderful life, and you have to have faith that it's coming. And for those of you who fell into that category of putting all the work in and not feeling like you were getting anywhere, some of you are falling into that same sort of energy with your manifestations. It's coming. You have to be patient. Slow down. Not everything's a race. I'm getting on to you a little bit here because we just went through these readings of being master manifestors and being grand masters, and now you're letting this silly energy get in your way. Come on now. You're the master manifestor. You're the grand masters. Get out of that energy. You know better. Okay? The other thing is, for those of you who have achieved a lot, and I think actually this sort of came up in it, I want to say it was yesterday's reading. Those of you who prayed for a long time and you ended up achieving something that you prayed for a long time, some of you are feeling almost like you're being ungrateful or selfish for wanting more. You need to work on your self-worth if you fall into that category, because you have to remember that as you evolve and as you grow, you're going to adapt and change to your surroundings, and your ambitions and your abundance is going to change and grow. That's normal. There's nothing selfish about that. And you need to get to the root of why you feel that's being ungrateful or being selfish. That might be coming from your family life and the way you were raised. For those of you who were told you were selfish if you didn't act a certain way by your parents or things like that, you need to really take a look at that, because it's getting in the way of your manifestations, and you need to get to the root cause. Because sitting here and going, oh, well, I am worthy, is just a Band-Aid. You need to get to the root, because it's the root that will cause the flower to die, okay? If the root is damaged, if it's sick, whatever, if it has negative energy, it's gonna end up flowing from the root all the way up to the rest of the plant. So that being said, you need to get to the root cause of that, and you need to course correct rather quickly so that you don't get in your own way when it comes to these blessings. You need to remain in a receiving energy, which also means patience. All of you guys are very impatient today. And so the reason too, though, why I had this indication of why I need to pull on the bottom of the deck, which is weird because I don't usually do that, is because I very much, after I pulled the first card, I understood. I very much got this feeling that a lot of you, the problem is you want to take a look at everything so much from a logical standpoint. You know, I can't leave this job because I got to pay my bills, or I'm looking for one person out of the entire world, let's say. How am I going to find them? You know, you're looking at things from such a logical standpoint. Or maybe with your manifestations. Oh, well, you know, only so many people get ABC. Why would I get ABC? Or whatever. You're looking at things from such a logical standpoint in all these different areas of your life that you forget that the universe doesn't speak in logic. And what I mean by that is the universe speaks in energy. Some of these things that you're getting inclinations to do, like me pulling from the bottom of the deck, doesn't make any sense. I don't pull from the bottom of the deck except when I'm doing the bottom of the deck reading after I pulled my 5 cards. I don't normally just pull from the bottom of the deck. So why would I pull from the bottom of the deck? But I'm being urged to do that. This is a perfect example of listening to spirit because I pulled from the bottom of the deck and look what I got. You understand the point I'm making? It didn't make any sense, but after the fact, when you look back in hindsight, it made sense. It's because spirit had a very specific message that it wanted to communicate today. Some of these things where you're letting your brain get in the way, you need to remember that the universe speaks in energy. Some of these inclinations that you're getting, if it's to write because you're a writer, or if it's to watch a certain movie, or if it's to look at certain spiritual aspects, or maybe you feel like I've never meditated before, I have this weird desire to meditate today. Some of those things are actually universe speaking to you and spirit speaking to you and your guides speaking to you, and you're ignoring it because of your logic. Well, that doesn't make any sense. Some of these things that the universe is pushing that feel like random inclinations are actually ways that the universe is trying to set you up for certain successes and blessings. And a great example too is a couple weeks ago, I hadn't seen my mom in a while. She'd been in and out of town. I'd been in and out of town. And I had this weird, I need to take this thing back to the store because I hadn't done it in a while. And I had 4 other things I was supposed to do that day. And instead, I'm getting this very intense feeling that I just needed to go and return this thing to the store. I did that, went to the store, returned it, and I ended up calling my mom. I don't remember why. There was something I was going to ask her. And we're talking, and she goes, "Oh yeah, I'm in such and such store." And I'm like, wait a minute. I was just in such and such store. And we both turn around and we're in the same store. We ended up going to dinner that day. I'd canceled all my plans so that we could hang out. And we ended up having a very important conversation about something that wouldn't have happened if I hadn't have just taken that inclination and gone to the store. Now, you have to use your discernment. I'm not saying every single thing, if your negative inner voice is saying, go jump off a bridge today, obviously don't do that. But if you're starting to get some of these inclinations where it feels like it's coming from your higher voice or it's coming from your gut, you might want to listen to that because it may be a way for some of these things to be set up, or it may be that spirit is trying to give you a blessing in a weird or different kind of way. Or it may be that, for example, for those of you who are waiting, I keep saying waiting today, not the word I'm looking for. For those of you who are looking for finding a divine counterpart and manifesting that, you never know. It could be you turn around and there they are in a parking lot and you literally run into each other, or they have a cute dog and you end up stopping to pet the dog and then you get in a conversation. You never know how you can meet somebody. So you need to stop putting those boundaries on how your manifestations can come in, because you may come to find that a lot of these manifestations are going to come in ways that you never could have in a million years thought it was going to come. So try to be a little more open-minded. Try to let your logic get less in the way of these things and feel the energy and flow of energy a little bit more, and be open to that so that you can give yourself and the universe more opportunity to guide you in the direction that you're trying to go. And this is where I always say you need to be like water. You flow with the river, right? That's kind of what this is you need to release that control, because the logical side of your brain is the control that you're trying to gain in the situation. But you have to remember that we are one of a billion different people on a rock that's floating in the middle of space that's circling a giant ball of fire. I mean, that's not super logical either. So just remember that there are miracles that happen every day, but they often happen in the little things, in the little ways that we choose to entertain or not entertain a certain energy. Okay, so your affirmation for this reading is, I am open to receiving my blessings in unexpected ways. And I urge you to really work on trying to tune into that energy more instead of letting your logic say, no, it can't be because of this or that, or that's unlikely or whatever, okay? So this is your reading. If it resonates with you, don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to comment your affirmation. And as always, may your life be full of light, full of love, abundance, and gratitude. I'll see you next time.